Today, we are heading out on a cheap, simple, basic moto camping trip near Mount Fuji in Japan. These packs are all that I'm bringing with me. After we get to the campsite, I'll explain everything I brought for camping, but for now, let's hit the road. We have officially hit the road. We have a couple hours of Tokyo urban sprawl to ride through, and to be honest, it's not that interesting. It's mostly just stoplights and a bit of traffic. So, I will bring you back when we are in the mountains. We've finally made it out of Tokyo. Now we are in Yamanashi Prefecture. A prefecture is like a state in Japan. We are on our way to the campground, which is in Shizuoka Prefecture. Yamanashi and Shizuoka are neighboring prefectures, and Mount Fuji sits right on the border. We've arrived to the campground, and it's time to check in. Parking is over there, and that building is for checking in. After checking in, it's time to get food and drinks for dinner. Here we go. After getting back to the campground, campsite hunting begins. We found a nice campsite in a little grove. So let's get camp set up. The first order of business is unloading the motorcycle and pitching the tent. I got hung up this morning, so I arrived to the campground much later than expected. I just got camp set up, and it's already nighttime. Since I ran out of daylight today, I will show you more of the campground and my camping gear in the morning. Good night, everyone. Here we are in my campsite. I decided to camp in this little grove, so I don't have a direct view of Mount Fuji right from here, but if I walk just 10-15 yards away, okay, now I'm going to show you what I brought for the camping trip. Besides my personal stuff, my stuff for the bike, and my stuff for filming, I'm going to show you what I brought just for camping. Behind me, as you can see, I brought the tent, and there's a tarp under my tent. I tried to keep this trip as cheap and simple and basic as possible. So I tried to buy most of my things from Daiso in Japan, which is like a Japanese dollar store. So, the first item is inflatable pillow, which I bought for $1. It was actually very comfortable, and I'm very happy with this purchase. I actually was able to get a sleeping bag from the dollar store, even though it was more than $1. This was about $10, but it's great for a summer sleeping bag. I got a collapsible cup for $1, portable chopsticks for $1, a stove for $1. So the idea is to put a fuel source here and then put a pot on top. I used all my fuel sources last night for my fire, so when I get back to Tokyo, I'll buy some more of those fuel sources and I'll show you what they are. These things, you just light the top and it burns for about 20 minutes. I brought a lighter from home. I brought this light from home, which I bought from Amazon years ago. It was probably less than $10. And I brought this table for $1. And that's all I brought for camping. Let's go putt around the campground and check it out.
It is now time to head home from my first moto camping trip. It certainly was something spending the night outdoors with Mount Fuji, an active volcano, looming over the area. It truly is a breathtaking mountain. As this was my first moto camping trip, it didn't go as planned at all. I planned to buy food at a store near the campground and show you all what it's like to cook a camp dinner using dollar store equipment. But I couldn't do that because I arrived so late. So I just bought food that didn't require cooking. Unfortunately, I didn't use the stove, pot, cup, or chopsticks that I packed. I didn't need the little table that I brought, but I thought it was cheap and small enough, so I wanted to bring it. The lighter and fuel sources were essential for the fire, and I bought processed wood at the campground. I think this is a special point about how convenient it is to camp in Japan. The only things I needed to pack were a tent and sleeping stuff. Everything else I could buy at the campground or at a store 5 minutes away. This is much different than the camping I used to do in Northern California, where it was necessary to pack all essential items because no stores were around. However, being well prepared before arriving to the campground is the cheaper option, as buying stuff at a local store is more expensive than, say, a dollar store or preparing food at home. This trip was a great learning experience. I tried to keep it cheap, simple, and basic to show you that it's possible. However, for the next trip, I definitely want some things to make camp more comfortable, like an inflatable sleeping pad, a portable stove, and a chair. I hope this video will help you in some way, whether it be planning for or motivating you to take your first moto camping trip, or taking a camping trip in Japan in general. If you enjoyed this trip, please consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel. Until next time.